A lot more tire tracks here than there used to be. I think they might be developing something out here. I saw a frisbee golf hole back by the house, so which wasn't there last time I was out here, so they're obviously doing something with the land, but pretty soon I'll be out of this trail loop that's for biking out here, out where there isn't any trails or anything, at least as far as the last time I was out here. And I definitely know that the other area I'm going to be making my way to for lunch has not been developed for the park, at least. There's an old quarry there, at least I believe it's a quarry, where I'm going to make my way up to a ledge up top to make my lunch. I'm heading right over there. I don't know if you can distinguish, there's a small opening where the end of this pasture is that I think it might link up with the bike trail for about 5 minutes, about 10 minutes to make my way down to this area where I could cut off and go down by the creek and have my coffee. This is the trail that I come out and hike quite a bit. Don't usually carry a full pack when I come out here and hike, but because I want to start getting back into hiking and camping and all the other wonderful stuff you could do out here that I used to do when I was younger and kind of got out of, I'm going to start bringing most of my equipment with me, even when I do it for a little bit of a hike. So I'm going to follow this down and around for about, I'd say, half a mile to 3/4 of a mile, where I could split off and follow a ravine down to, there's a river, or it's not really a river, there'd be a large creek. There's some old campsites down there that the park uses every now and then, but not very much. More for, I get Boy Scouts when they come out. Anyways, I'm gonna make my way down there to have some coffee this morning. A little side trail that splits off. Let us show you the view here. As you can see, there's housing down there. That's about as close as I'm going to be to any houses for most of the day. Like I said, Kansas City metro area, this is one of the larger spaces. It's probably at least the largest park in Johnson County, which is part of the metro. To get much bigger, you have to go outside the metro area, which I plan on doing, but for my first video, I figured I would go to a place I'm familiar with that is actually quite nice and away from every one, at least the busyness of the city. Alright, coming up to this pond here along this trail. I've always wanted to fish down here, but I've never brought my pole out here. But hopefully next time I'll think about it. Right now, of course, being 8 degrees out, probably 10 degrees now, it's pretty frozen out there. Definitely wouldn't want to walk on it. See if I can find a rock to throw out there to see how it does. Here we go. That's pretty solid, but I'm still not walking on it. A little rock doesn't prove much of anything. Alright, well, I'm gonna get going along the trail. Okay, so this area of the trail is my favorite part of the trail. I like the pine trees here. the smell of it, and it reminds me of some areas that I found at the Boy Scout camp I used to work at in southern Missouri. I worked there for 3 summers, and I worked in the kitchen, so I worked around the meals, but the rest of the time I had, at my disposal pretty much for the most part, and I would just go hiking. It was around Truman Lake, which is a huge lake, and the reservation, the Boy Scout reservation, was very large, and I could go hiking for a couple hours, get out in the middle of the woods and just be out there. And this kind of reminds me of some of my favorite spots I found while I worked out there. There's a small trail that crosses here. I'm actually going to take this part down. This is where I'm going to start turning south to go down to where the little old campsites are to make my coffee. I've been hiking about an hour now, so it's going to take me, after I make the coffee, about an hour to get up to where I want to make lunch. So at least that's a rough estimate. So I'm going to head this way.